Season 2 of the border battle just got underway in Washington today as a bipartisan group of lawmakers began negotiating a new deal to avoid another government shutdown. President Trump tweeted ahead of the meeting that the committee was, quote, wasting their time if they weren't discussing funding for a wall. And those sentiments were echoed by Alabama Republican Senator Richard Shelby.
Smart technology alone does not actually stop anyone from crossing into the U.S. illegally. Our Border Patrol tells us that they need physical barriers to help them do their job, not from coast to coast, but strategically placed where traffic is highest.
From sea to shining sea, Shelby's wall call may be very popular with the border agents, but it didn't have a lot of fans on the Democrat side. As Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin can attest. Dick?
The president may be disappointed if we don't give him everything he's asked for. We're supposed to use our considered bipartisan judgment to make the right decision for the taxpayers and for the safety of this country.
Lawmakers only have until February 15th to reach a spending agreement and avoid another shutdown. If they can't, the president says he's open to declaring a national emergency to build that wall. So can Congress make a big deal, or will the shutdown showdown get a sequel, just like a Marvel movie? Joining me now, founder and CEO of American Majority and former speechwriter for George W. Bush, it is Ned Ryun, and he is joined by host of the Richard Fowler Show, Fox News contributor, the one and only Richard Fowler. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Hey, Kennedy. How are you?
Thanks, Kennedy.
Hope you're California dreaming.
I'm so California dreaming. It is fantastic over here. The weather is great. I don't know about this below zero nonsense everyone's complaining about. So, Richard, I will start with you. The great Senator Patrick Leahy says everyone supports border security. Nancy Pelosi says walls are immoral. What's the truth here?
Well, listen, Hakeem Jeffries, who's the number 5 ranking Democrat in the House, said a couple of days ago.
Because he can spot grand wizards just like that.
Hey, but he did say a couple of days ago in the House that the Democrats are open to some sort of fencing where it's necessary based on evidence, right? And I don't think they're taking that off the table. But with that being said, I don't think they're going to build fences or border walls or steel slats or whatever we're calling it today from sea to shining sea across the Mexican border, because I think that's a non-starter. Now, with that being said, here's the problem that the president has.
But no one's saying that. Stop acting like Republicans are still saying that. They're not saying that.
I don't know what the president's saying. I'm still waiting for the check from Mexico, so there's that. But let's be very clear here. But here's the problem that the president has going into this new date, is that I think the Republican Party, Republicans in the Senate, are very sluggish on this ideal of shutting the government down again. So I think because they're so sluggish on this ideal of shutting the government down again, this conference committee is the only game in town for the president. Whatever they come out with, this is it. No, it's game over after that.
It's an important game. Okay, I want to go to Ned, because the first shutdown was dumb. A second shutdown would be absolutely disastrous for Republicans and Democrats. So will this team of House and Senate Appropriations Committee members actually work together to come up with something that both sides want?
I'm afraid I agree with Trump on this, that I think it's less than 50-50, Kennedy. I think you've got Democrats who, quite frankly, they don't want to give any money for any barrier to Trump, because then he gets to declare win on one of his central campaign promises. And they also know if he doesn't get any funding for a barrier, his base starts to erode. And then you've got Republicans that, again, they don't want to see a shutdown. And I'm telling you, the reports out of Politico yesterday, Kennedy, the White House is finalizing plans to declare a national emergency. Poll came out from Politico this morning showing 76% of Republicans would support Trump in that. And another poll that's interesting, Kennedy, when you get to the hardcore Trump base, 95% of them want to declare a national emergency to build a wall. If he does not, almost half of them walk away. And so here's the thing. I think what he needs to do, I'm telling you, Trump's either going to do a national emergency, but what I like better is for him to get DOD to use their Section 284 authorization to build fencing in known drug smuggling corridors. He can solve a lot of that problem with fencing on the southern border and not have to declare a national emergency.
All right, so let's say Richard, let's say the president doesn't declare a national emergency. We only have 30 seconds. Let's say he uses DOD funding and minutia. Then what? Do you think Democrats will challenge that in court?
I think, number one, Democrats will challenge that in court. Number two, 90% of the drugs that we're talking about come through ports of entry as it is. So we have to beef up the ports of entry, which Democrats are willing to do.
And the post office. The good old-fashioned mail.
And so if we're
Look
not
at all
inspecting
that
there,
reefer.
we're in trouble.
All right.
And the fentanyl.
I do think that's, you know what? That's why Congress has to act. Because anything that can be done with sleight of hand, then tell some of your representatives
we are willing
Mark Warner
to increase support at the Postal Service. We're willing to put more border patrols. We're willing to beef up the ports of entry.
Yeah.
But the
Throw
ideal
a
of
bunch
just
money at the
building,
post office.
but the ideal of just
it.
building a wall for building a wall's sake is not going to solve the problem of visa overstays, nor is it going to solve the problems of drugs coming across our border or coming across our coastline.
Fix the visa system.
Kennedy.
Put some pressure on legislators.
Totally
Otherwise,
agree.
everything's going to get done through executive order. And it's
We can
totally
agree on the visa
You have 10
system.
seconds. Last word, Ned.
We can agree on the
Last word,
visa
Ned, 10
system.
seconds.
There you go, Ned.
We got to fix the E-Verify, and we've got to fix chain migration. And the fact is, physical barriers do work. Democrats have voted for the past. All they're doing right now is trying to deny Trump a win. That's it.
Ned, we could start with the E-Verify.
Never mind
at
chain
Mar-a-Lago.
migration. I need a chain necklace. All right, enough of the trickery there, Richard. Thank you both so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Kennedy.
Thanks, Kennedy.